Recently, I got a Saroo for the Sega Saturn, which can be thought of as being like an EverDrive, which allows you to play games from an SD card instead of a disc. The difference between this and an optical drive emulator, though, as you may have noticed, is this plugs directly into the cartridge slot on the back of the Saturn, where the memory expansion usually goes. The cool part is this actually leads to much shorter load times than an ODE, because those are still limited by the speed of the disk drive array. Now, this isn't exactly new information. You've probably seen some big YouTubers cover one of these in the past, but I wanted to see for myself just how much of a difference it can make. So I took a few minutes to do quick comparisons with a couple of Saturn games known for their loading problems. First up, Mortal Kombat 2. Now, anyone who's played a Mortal Kombat game on either the Saturn or the original PlayStation knows how intrusive the loading breaks can be, particularly when playing as Shang Tsung. In fact, it's so bad, the developers actually included an option in the menu to prevent him from morphing at all, literally taking away the main reason to even pick him. This is footage of the game running on a Fenrir, an optical drive emulator for the Saturn. As you can see, during general gameplay, the game stutters and hitches a bit, and it takes a while to even get into a match. And when Shang Tsung morphs, yikes, the entire game comes to a halt until he finishes. Obviously, this is not ideal, and it ruins the flow of the whole thing. Now, let's see the game on the Saroo. As you can see, getting into a match is much faster, and overall the experience much smoother. Then the ultimate test. Unfortunately, it's still not perfect, as there is still a slight pause in the action, but it's a notable improvement. This basically makes the game a lot closer to what one might expect from a cartridge-based system, like the SNES, Genesis, or even 32X. It's doubtful that the game will ever be entirely fixed, but still, I'd call it playable at this point, and I wouldn't take the controller away from someone for picking Shang Tsung like I might have before. Okay, now the second game I wanted to look at, Die Hard Arcade. It's a short beat-em up with a lot of cutscenes sprinkled throughout the campaign. The problem though is that this game constantly dips to black during these cutscenes, making it a tedious experience to sit through. It's so bad that at times, you might have to sit through more seconds of staring at a black screen than the cutscene itself. Now here's the game with the Saroo. The dips to black are still present, but the time between them is all but eliminated in many cases, making the experience feel much more cohesive and, dare I say, closer to the original arcade game. It's just a massive improvement on the whole, and practically transforms the game from nearly unplayable to very replayable. Really cool stuff. Well, that's going to do it for this brief video. I just wanted to share my findings and show that this is a literal game changer when it comes to some of the Saturn's biggest loading offenders. It should be noted that not all games are currently compatible with the Saroo, but compatibility updates are being released all the time, and it's constantly getting new features as new firmware drops. It's currently reasonably inexpensive too. I got mine on AliExpress for around $60 shipped and received it in about 10 days. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here for now. If you liked the video, please help me out by hitting that thumbs up. And consider hitting subscribe too to get updates on when a new upload drops or when I go live. Thanks for watching. Till next time.